Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next live session based on my book, Beyond Asanas. In these live sessions, I'm going chapter by chapter through the entire book, just discussing the asanas again and discussing specifically the symbolism and the importance of the asanas. Also discussing a little bit of the stories, which actually connect these asanas to your yoga in real life. So we're on chapter 12, and chapter 12 is called Virasana. And Virasana, literally translated, Vir means hero and asana is pose. So literally translated, it's hero's pose. And the main or the most important and the most famous hero, or the bravest figure in Hindu mythology, is Hanuman. So, and there are many, there are many asanas which are devoted to Hanuman, like based on Hanuman, and that's not a surprise, because Hanuman is a figure who is so multifaceted. So for instance, he displays courage. He displays strength. He stands for strength, for fearlessness. So it's not it's not a surprise that there are so many asanas devoted to Hanuman. And this one is actually it's more about his the characteristic he has of being a hero, of being brave. And so Hanuman is also sometimes called Veer Hanuman, and the Virasana is also sometimes called the Mahavirasana. Mahavir is actually another way, another name for Hanuman, Mahavir. So the great brave man. So the first story that I'm going to be talking about, there's only one story that I've written about in this chapter, and it's called The Greatest Hero of Them All. And this is about Hanuman and how he had met Ram and Sita and Lakshman when they were in exile. And as soon as he saw Ram, he knew that he had found some kind of guru, someone who could actually guide him, someone who he could respect and actually even worship. So as soon as he saw Ram, the story goes that he prostrated himself in front of Ram, and he said, I am going to be your disciple your whole life long. And although it didn't happen in the beginning, Hanuman, over the years, he displayed that he was very devoted to Ram. He displayed incredible courage in serving Ram. And so in this story, I talk about one of those instances, and that instance is when Ravan actually he kidnaps Sita. And when they found out, when everybody found out that Sita had indeed been kidnapped, everybody was like, okay, Ravan is not he's a very formidable enemy. Like he's a very feared enemy. It's not like it's like fighting anybody else, and it's a huge thing that has happened, and everybody was scared of what would happen. Even just to go and fight with Ravan, it was a big decision. It wasn't a decision that anybody was taking lightly. So but Hanuman takes it in a second. He says that we have to go get Sita, and I will stop at nothing. Like, yeah, count me in. So that in itself shows how devoted he was. He was the commander of the Virasana, of the monkey army, and he said, okay, I pledge the support of the army to fight Ravana, to save Sita. And he knew that there would be many challenges for this. Okay, for instance, Lanka was across the sea. And to get across the sea, they would have to find a way to get across the sea, and to actually be able to cover that distance in no time. So there were many, they could foresee many problems that would happen, but Hanuman was very intent that he would help get Sita back, and he pledged his support and the Vanarsena support in no time. And so then what happened was that the battle happens, the battle ensues, and in that battle, Lakshman gets injured, and he gets fatally wounded. And during that time, the physician that was looking at Lakshman, he said that, Lakshman only has until like a few more hours to live. By morning, Lakshman, if he doesn't get this particular herb, he will die. And that herb is called Sanjeevani. Okay, and like nobody knew where it was. It was very difficult to get, and so everybody was in this conundrum. And so again, they enlisted Hanuman's help. So in the middle of the battle, they said, okay, Lakshman has fallen, has been injured. And at this time, Ravan was gleeful, because he knew that Lakshman was so important to Ram, and without Lakshman, he knew that Ram would have a hard time winning the battle. So Ravan was like very happy. He was very happy with the fact that Lakshman had been fatally injured, and he was so sure that he has finally won the battle. But Hanuman came to the rescue again. So Hanuman said, okay, no, I will go and I will find wherever this herb is. I'm going to go and find it. So so they say, okay, it's in the Himalayas. So Hanuman goes and he searches, for Sanjeevani, but he doesn't know what it looks like. So then there's another confusion. Like if you don't know what it looks like, you could search all of the Himalayas, but you would still not be able to find this herb. So what he does is he goes and he finds this old woman who knows the location. And the old woman is like, well, I'm really old and frail. I can't go with you, but I can, maybe tell you the location. So Hanuman says, okay, fine. You take me to the location of the herb, and then, I'll drop you back. You come with me, I'll drop you back, and then I'll take the herb to Lakshman. And so he picks up the woman, and they go into the general direction of where the location of the herb is. He goes there, and then when they look at that place in the Himalayas, they see that there's so many herbs growing over there, and that they don't really know what it looks like. So they have no clue. Still, they're at the location, but they still have no clue which herb they have to take back. And so Hanuman, this is the famous story of when Hanuman actually lifts the entire mountain and carries it back to Lakshman. And so that the physician who's there, who knows what Sanjeevani looks like, can actually spot it and use it. Okay, but before this happens, Ravan actually is a great devotee of Surya. So Ravan is also a very interesting personality. He's a very interesting character in that he's been a great devotee of many gods. He's done a lot of penance and a lot of tapasya to gain the powers that he has. But he's the figure who shows us that that you can misuse the powers also. So he was a great devotee of Surya, and he knew when Hanuman said, okay, I'm going to help, and that I'm going to go fly to the Himalayas to find the herb, he knew that there's a possibility that Hanuman might be successful. So he tells Surya, he prays to Surya and says, look, I have been a devotee of you for so long. Now, please help me with this. I want that the day becomes a little like the daybreak happens a little earlier. So that reduces the amount of time that Hanuman has to search for the herb. So Surya actually grants this wish. He says, okay, I'll rise a little bit early. But Hanuman, again, because he is so brave and he has so many powers, what he does is he becomes so big that he actually obliterates Surya's light. And so then the darkness, stays for a little bit longer. So technically daybreak does not happen. So in that way, also Hanuman uses his powers, for the good. And with his strength, he can actually carry this mountain all the way back to the forest where the fighting is happening. And the physician, he takes the herb that's required, Sanjeevani, and he treats Lakshman, and in no time Lakshman is up and running again. So then the fighting can continue. So because Hanuman had done all of this, because he'd repeatedly done feats like this, things like this for Ram and Lakshman, Ram had always considered him like his family, someone who's very close to them, someone who's very quite devoted to them. So this is like one of those very important stories which we see depicted in a lot of art also. So if you've seen Hanuman carrying a big mountain, that's the part of the mountain where Sanjeevani is, and that's why he's carrying it back, because Sanjeevani is required to get Lakshman up and running again. So as always, I'm going to talk about the significance and symbolism of this story. So the first significance is, and again in the book there is a section for significance and symbolism. So the first significance is that Hanuman was so loyal. Okay, he was so loyal, and he was always he always had a single track mind when it came to helping his friends, and he was so loyal and so brave that we have something called the Hanuman Chalisa, and a lot of people recite that daily to build inner strength and inner fearlessness. And I know that because I've tried it myself and it really works. So that's one way that we can see that Hanuman is actually a representative of fearlessness. Now, I'm going to read out two things from the book just to sort of round off this session. Now, the first significance, it reads, bravery isn't the absence of fear. It is the mastery of fear. Hanuman conquered his fear with faith to literally soar to new heights and perform noble deeds such as rescuing Sita. If we master our fears, we can also soar to great heights. Okay, so this is self-explanatory. Now, another question is, like, if Hanuman is such a great hero, if he has done so many good things, why is he always depicted as kneeling before Ram? After all, if he's such a great hero, so brave, he should be at par, at the same level. But here is where we see another aspect of Hanuman's personality, and that is that although he was brave, possibly the bravest person in mythology, in Hindu mythology, although he was so brave, although he was so strong, he was also very humble. And he felt that if he is devoted to Ram, if he is a follower of Ram, then he should always be at a lower level than him. He should always be seated down with him, from him, like in front of him. Now, I'm going to read the second significance that I've written about in the book, and that is, regardless of how much success we achieve, we must always remain humble. When practicing Virasana, we must try and find a balance between being aware of our accomplishments and accepting that there are many who are far greater and more accomplished than us. It is for us to humbly seek such individuals out and learn from them. So this is a direct interpretation, you can say, learning or lesson from Hanuman. He greatly admired Ram, and he spent his whole life learning from Ram and being devoted to him. So similarly, for us also, so many of us are trying to do such great things, and it's always disappointing when something doesn't work out. But this particular story shows that you should constantly be looking at how you can serve, how you can be humble, how you can learn from your masters, and with that you can achieve so much. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this live. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. If you have if you have any other asana or any other mythological story that you want me to discuss, please leave a comment, or you can even email me at pragya.bhatt@gmail.com. So I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow.